Yeah, absolutely, and beaten by the better team on the day as well. I mean, the way they batted and the way they bowled, fielded, I think everything went right for Australia. I think we did really well at one stage to get back into the game, but in the end, when you're chasing in a pressure game, chasing anything over 300 is always a tough ask, and finally the pressure did get to us. Well, I think the disappointment, even if you hadn't raised expectations, you get to the semi-finals, and every fan, whether and not just an Indian fan, whether you're an Australian fan, you take the South African fans for instance as well. I mean, they lost in the semi-finals. They'll be bitterly disappointed because you know that you're 2 games away from being world champions. Uh, and to be honest, these 4 teams that played the semi-final, I wouldn't classify this. If India had beaten Australia, I wouldn't have said it's an upset. If Australia had beaten India, I'm not saying this is an upset because all 4 teams were the form teams. All 4 teams were the best 4 side in the tournament. So look, on the day the better team won. I think Australia deserve all credit. The way they batted, the way Steve Smith batted, the way Aaron Finch batted, and then the way Mitchell Johnson came towards the end and played a little cameo. And again, the way they bowled, I thought bowled and fielding. They did give a few chances. I mean, you don't really see that from the Australians. Brad hadn't dropped, a pretty easy catch early on. But other than that, I thought the Australians were magnificent. Yeah, well, look, I think for some reason, I think everyone expected him to retire after this World Cup, and I don't see why. Because he's obviously given up the Test version of the game so that he can concentrate on the shorter version of the game. He's got a hell of a lot to offer Indian cricket. I mean, as captain, as leader, as an important member, such a valuable asset to the Indian side in terms of his batting and keeping in the shorter version of the game. That I see no reason for him to retire. He's obviously, people say, oh, he'll play the T20s, but how many T20s in a year does India play? A handful. So I think as one day captain and as T20 captain, he's got a lot to offer, a lot to give, I sincerely hope he doesn't retire because he's like I said, he's still got a lot to offer Indian cricket. Well, they haven't. It seemed like Australia had the better of India throughout the summer, but the way the Indian team played in the World Cup leading up to the semifinals was magnificent. And when you've got match winners in your side, as do Australia, it's about which match winner turns up on the day and performs better than the other match winner. I mean, India has Virat Kohli had a pretty average World Cup other than the 100 he got initially. But you've got match winners. You've got Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Shikhar Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, Suresh Raina. Umesh Yadav did magnificently well in this game, picking up 4 wickets. In the Australian side, you've got match winners. So, and unfortunately for India, Steve Smith, one of their match winners, came good, as did Aaron Finch and Mitchell Johnson towards the end. So, look, no shame in losing to a better team. They were definitely by far the better team today. And as you said, over the summer, they've been better than India in all formats, whether it's the Test format or the One Day format.